Ah.
We're waiting for. Okay, it works. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you on my channel. Please subscribe if you didn't, as there is a lot of information you can get here, mostly in creativity issues. I have a special guest today. His name is Bradley. He's my friend. He's from Australia. And honestly, I can say, hello, Bradley. Honestly, I can say he's such beautiful and soulful man I ever met in my life. And I know him for a long time. And this time is going to be a second part of our show that we have started before, that names music as an instrument that makes us happy. And please join us with open heart and open mind, and let's get started. And the first question is, are you suggesting that any health problems may be directly related to our internal perception of what music creates in our lives? Evidence of people who are involved in this process as the only one that kept them mentally alive. Is that possible? That music can save their mental health? From that terms, I'm interested in your opinion.
Yes, absolutely. So I know people, there is a form of counseling therapy called music therapy. And I had taken clients to this and sat in on it in a formal setting. So I'll answer it in like a formal setting and informal setting. So in a professional setting, addressing mental health with music is a very real thing. And there's evidence to suggest that singing releases dopamine in the brain. So it gives you a better resilience to depression and things that happen in your life. Generally, any form of creativity is personally rewarding. So, but music is interesting in that we're looking at it from a positive viewpoint. But I mean, generally, music, as I think I said last time, what is beautiful music to one person is noise to another. So it's interesting. I was watching an interview where in some prisons they actually torture prisoners with music. I won't mention the band that was in it, but I was listening to an interview of the drummer, and he was quite shocked that this form of his like metal music was actually used to torture prisoners. But then you've got millions of fans around the world going to see the same band and getting lots of enjoyment from it. So that's the dynamic of music. It can be loved by one person and not loved by another. But I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I listen to the radio, and I know in a domestic setting, a lot of people that work at home, either just as a housewife or house husband, whatever, if their job is domestic chores, they'll have the radio on to help them through the day, and it feels like it's a companion. And some listen to oldie stations and relive their youth, and they sing along, and it brightens their entire day up, so they don't feel they're alone in this house, and music's company to them. And that's in a context of music itself, but in a social setting, and I think I said this last time, when you go to see bands play, you can go by yourself, and then all of a sudden you will see people because you've got that common interest. And I've had people I know only from concerts and never see them outside of a concert. And so social interaction with human beings as a result of going to the concert will, generally speaking, improve your mental health.
Yeah, totally agree with what you have said. As would you mind that that at times the music could be connected with our internal world as the only instrument that can save our not only mental health but probably can guide us in our life as a guidebook, and sometimes even if we make flashback to the history, we can see how many times it was marked with the Chinese story as many musical resources was involved with their ancient martial arts. As you know, probably many of Shaolin monks, they have been used these musical issues as the instrument for their struggling with their daily mental health problems, with to be relaxing, and even during their competitions, during any fights between them, they have been used also this music like an instrument to be stayed in tune, and I'm really interested about that as the music has touched in my life with a special effect of the butterfly, I can say, as it touched me at once, and I was feeling myself as a person who standing on the position of the great rock, I mean, in the mountains, and seeing this whole world from the top of that. The music gave me the opportunity to be exploring this world with my eyes, and it has opened my eyes, and it's made me more sensible. It gave me the opportunity to say to people many things what I've created with my own style, with my own guitar playing, and like that. Okay, and my next question is, would you suggest how any national communities could be creating their own space with their music, protecting their own culture, improving themselves with their instruments, a language to speak the people from their nationality, and I mean the ones who defend their own. It's really, these questions could be sounding ridiculous, but I know. I mean the ones who defend their own principles in daily life, as musicians, for example. So, following to the first question, I've asked you: the music as an instrument that can heal the space around you. Is it possible that music is not only the piece of your self-creativity or the way of your relaxation, or the circle of your friends, the round of your interests? Is it something more than just your daily life? I mean, from the position of, I don't know, of the person who lives his spiritual life. So music could be the music as the part of our spiritual life.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking, like, when you were like answering the first question, it's true. Music isn't just a band or one musician performing on a stage. It's like you say, with the Shaolin monks and things like that. Like, I've used YouTube videos of meditation music or guided meditation to help me sleep. And now that they've worked out particular frequencies that trigger certain reactions. So they found frequencies that help you sleep. And there's also things like those singing bells and other types of singing bowls and little bells that resonate at different frequencies, like you're saying, gets used in meditation. And as you say, through the ages, gongs and different triangles are used in all sorts of ceremonies of indigenous people, like at weddings, at funerals. There's always some form of music instrument present. It's not used in the context of listening to the radio, but it's an absolute definite impact right at that time on what's happening in a person's life and on their mental health. There's even, you can buy bells to cleanse houses and supposedly drive off unpleasant sort of, well, let's say spiritual forces or whatever your beliefs are, or vibes or whatever. You know, maybe there's a family in your house before that had arguments, and you walk in the house and go, oh, this feels ugly, and then you can cleanse the house and it can feel better. So in terms of community, that was all interconnected. Like if you go to a Chinese New Year celebrations where there's people dressed in dragons and that, and they're banging drums and that. Like I went in May Day celebrations today, and they had like a Scottish pipe band in it leading the procession. So it's probably pretty hard to go through a day in a big city without hearing music. You would have to be stuck way out in the country somewhere with no electrical devices. But even then, you're going to hear birds singing. So you probably can't have a day without some form of music happening from something. So community spaces are great for the connection of people and their overall mental health. There's lots of people that have jam weekends, and you know, there's things like weekend warriors where it's just, you know, 50 plus guys who don't want to perform on stage will just get together and jam, and there's open mic nights and that, and friendships can bond from that. I mean, there's the old karaoke days, and that were huge social gatherings. So, but yeah, like in the daytime, community spaces are good. I mean, I've been involved in the mental health aspect of jam groups. So it just allows people who are too shy to maybe get up on stage at a club just to meet at a community hall, and that's their safe space, and then they can get to sing a song they've always wanted to sing.
Maybe you have heard before that the music can be practiced even in the madhouses at times, like an instrument for the healing their internal world of the patients. And from my experience, I have to say, the music is more than just instrument that can be healing my internal space. It is some more than a daily life, as the music could be relating with us all the time, in any moment of our life, when we walk, when we make our workout. Even last time I started using some Chinese music for my working out, and it makes me really enjoyable, as I can be relaxing with all my muscles. I can feel that music that makes me more improving, is better to say, with my own perception about myself. I'm learning to get some more internal information about my inner world using that music. Even my creativity, my self-creativity issues, they gave me some more than just opportunity to say my own word to the people. I also have to use it in the moments when I'm really frustrated, when I need some rest. I can be listening track by track in my headphones, and it makes me to be feeling asleep at times, as I really need some rest. I can use my songs for that reason. Yeah, and I really like what you have to say. Connecting my previous question with the Chinese culture, and leading the path for our next question. And I have to ask you, have you been noticed of how domestic? That question is really ridiculous, I know. Have you been noticed of how domestic animals could be reacted upon the music presence in our daily time? Maybe if you got some proof, could you share it with our viewers and listeners?
All right. Hang on. Let me just check something, because I do have these questions here, but we're trying to do this in a natural setting. So, can you ask that again so I can think it through?
Yeah. So, would you mind that music can be strongly connected with the animals' lives? So, how the animals can react, can be reacting to our music, to the music in our daily life. How, I mean, the connection between the people and the animals.
That's an interesting question. That's not something I put a lot of thought into, because for animals, I generally don't think there's been much study done on this. I can't say I've noticed it. I can't say I've I had a dog. I had a few dogs, and music generally had no noticeable impact on an animal. They can hear certain frequencies and respond to your voice, but I would have to say I'm unaware of music itself having any relationship to animals, because dogs respond to more the emotion of their owner. There are times I might plug in the guitar and the harshness of the sound could make my dog walk out of the room, but it's probably not because he didn't like the music. It's probably because the noise was actually too much for them, because of a dog's ability to hear. Because you think of animals in the natural habitat, yeah, there's the birds and everything, and well, okay, if you can look at it like that. I mean, I was in a park the other day, and there's all these cockatoos in trees, and they use their bird calls to communicate. So to us, that's a form of music. To them, it's a form of communication. So definitely, yeah. Now I've thought about it deeper. What we could call music, the animals wouldn't call music, but they use their vocal cords to communicate and send out signals to another animal. But I don't think animals respond to music from humans, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes. And following the emotional space of the animals, how they can be created, how they can be connected with the musical issues in our life. I have some examples from my own story. I had a cat before, and I can say it was very smart animal. It catched all the time my commandments and like a dog. And at times when I played my guitar in my room, and the door was locked, in 5 minutes after beginning of my playing, I've heard all the time this pitiful sound of my cat, meow meow, just let me in, let me in. We said before that music has a directly influence to our internal life, and now we can add to it that music also can be creating us as self-independent persons with our inner world. And also we can say the music can be connecting with their domestic animals in our daily life. And now I'm leading the path to the next question. Is music the instrument of our healing? Is music the instrument of our healing in our daily life?
Yes. Well, yeah. There's no refuting that fact. Like, it is. Music absolutely has healing capacity, and it's the reason we engage in music. We engage in music and connect to music to feel better. And that's the sole purpose of it. It's something you enjoy. It's the same as going to an art gallery or even sport. You go along, it's like you do anything in life that you purposely want to do is to gain enjoyment from it. So you'll turn the radio on to try and hear one of your favorite songs to feel better. You'll play your instrument to be creative, or depending on the context, if you're a working musician, sometimes some of them end up viewing it as work, but it's still a source of enjoyment. But it's done from a different level to someone who is like a bedroom guitarist who just wants to see if they can play a song and like be in that meditative state of being in the moment and maybe forget the troubles of the day, which a lot of it's about. A lot of it's about, like I think I said last time, of being in the moment, and a lot of it is a lot of music. Music itself is being in the moment because you're trying to listen to that note at that one time in the space of time, and it's forever gone. And I don't think people sometimes appreciate that enough with music, particularly in live settings. I always, one of my curious things is hearing people have a conversation when a band is playing, particularly if they paid money to watch your band play. I thought, you've paid your hard-earned dollars to come and watch this band, and you're having a conversation with the person next to you, which is not enabling other people to listen. I thought you might as well not have come and stayed home. So yeah, that's the particular thing of a live concert is every note that gets played at that exact moment in time is gone in the next second. So I think it's something people have there's a lot of people that realize that, particularly in classical music concerts I've been to. There tends to be a bit more, I think, respect for the music than possibly in other genres. Not to insult anyone in that context, but because that's a more classical musicians musicianship is disciplined. So that's a very different way. I think there's a different connection in classical music to what there is in rock music, where it's like, let's have some drinks and have a good time. That's interesting in itself, the way everyone approaches a different genre of music. But the sphere of it is to seek enjoyment from it and to gain an emotional response from listening to the music.
Mm-hmm. Music as any emotional space that relates us with the mental health. And could you feel it before reading the book that at times you have been noticed some melodies in the row, what you have read in any row, and maybe just when you're trying to catch with your mind some image from that book, have you been noticed before some music, some melody that like the bird song, for example? When I read the book, I can be noticing at times any melody, and row after row I can be even mostly I'm reading now in the target language, and in any book what I've read, I felt its own music. I felt as any composer, as any writer has his own inner world with its inner world, with its inner melody. And I think, have you noticed before these fragments of the musical issues with any book, for example, what you had read before? Did you feel it before, something special when you're reading not only the book with the paper, but it's something more that you can be listening for, like music?
Occasionally, yes. I mean, I don't actually read books that much anymore because I'm more listen to audiobooks. But you're right, there's definitely different passages in different books that invoke in your head what the soundtrack could be to the words that you're reading. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I couldn't name a particular instance in it. But you know, if you're reading about, say, a Viking invasion or a battle, you could imagine or hear some song, you know, that's high energy and loud and brash and relates to that. And then maybe if you're reading a romantic scene or something, the music would be softer and a song could come into your head. Yeah, I'm sure that happens. I can't say I've had that happen a lot, but it definitely makes sense.
Yes, you're right. And I thought the same. And I think all the time music has more influence in our life than some ordinary things. The music, you can materialize that. You can even touch it with your own hand. It's a more than a materialistic world. Is in only way, in any way we can choose in our life, the music has followed to us all the time from the beginning. And from my experience, I have to say that music was connecting me with my perception of this world. In any moment of my life, I felt this. I felt its presence in my life. Staying outside, I don't know, staying outdoor. Anyway, I felt its presence with my heart. And even I had bad times, the music has helped me to revive myself from the depression when I was frustrated with my own failures. It got me up. It woke me up all the time. The music has changed my life. Even I haven't got playing the guitar so much last time, but thanks to my guitar playing, I started learning my language at once. As any language for me, as a music, it sounds like any magic, charade, or I can say like any magic note that you can catch with your mind, and it helps you to be focusing more with yourself. As we use all these instruments that we have used in our daily life with our mental health issues, all these instruments can be used also with the music. For example, when you play the guitar, you can be focusing with your manner. You are training your memory all the time. It helps you to be more improving with yourself, with your behavior. It's also changed our behavior in our daily life. It's changed our mood sometimes. It's catch us from the routine, from the swamps that we can be following sometimes. But the music, anyway, the music has changed our life. And for example, when I've been practicing with my guitar in the beginning, I've trained my memory all the time playing my guitar. As any note that I played was put in my mind. And even when I started learning my language, I've noticed one interesting thing: how the language could be creating your own personality. And more, even from the physiological issues, you can be changing with your own body, even, I can say. When you start to learn any new language in your life, it changes you from the inner world, from the internal life. It's starting changing you all the time. And the language, like music, in any moment of my life, the music has preparing you for your self-confidence. You can be more confident, can be more self-productive with your music. And the influence of music for me is some more than just playing guitar on just listening the classic masterpieces. Even it relates with my personality. It's create the person inside of me who can be standing on the position like observer of this world. I can be observing this world thanks to my music. I can be focusing with my own thoughts all the time. I can be learning my language. And anyway, it's helped me so much. Yeah. Okay, and the last question I'd like to ask you: could you recommend, could you give some advice to our viewers and listeners if they have started only their guitar playing as a guitarist? Could you recommend what should they do in the beginning of their creativity way?
All right, that's a very tough question, because this gets asked of musicians a lot, of what advice, but there's a lot of struggle at the start. I find a common common thread of conversation from guitarists starting out is a lot of it's a physical thing of playing the guitar. Like, I've taught people guitar and like they will struggle to play some simple basic chord structures at start, and take forever to move their fingers from one chord to the other, and some of them become discouraged and go, oh, I'll never get this, and then 3 months later they're playing that stuff as if they could in their sleep, because a lot of it's muscle memory. So a lot of it is sort of the whole thing. What we're talking about is enjoyment, because generally you want to play an instrument because you want to do it. There's other cases where you've got kids and parents and they're telling them they have to learn the piano or the violin. That's a different thing. It's disciplined and structured. But if you just go, you've seen a guitarist and go, that's what I want to do, and your parents get you one or you get one, and there's all these, so much information out there now compared to what there used to be on YouTube and that. Just find someone that resonates with you, work out what songs you want to learn, and just go ahead and learn them. Don't listen to people around you that have any negativity at all. Just do not buy into stuff like, why do you want to do that? You'll never get anywhere. Just disconnect from those people, because I wanted to learn a solo once of a song, and someone said, oh, it'll take you a year to do it, and I did it in like 3 weeks. And like, just don't buy into negativity when it comes to music, because music is about growth. It's about personal growth and musical growth, and you're allowed to do it in your own time and your own speed, not in the context of what someone else wants you to do it. So do it for yourself, and stay true to yourself, and just make it enjoyable.
Yeah, great advice, and I think it was a beautiful conversation. And before we finished, I'd like to remind you, our dear viewers and listeners, please subscribe if you didn't, as there is a lot of information you can get here, mostly in creativity issues. And if you have something to say, please leave the comments below, as it's very important for our feedback story. Okay, I was happy to see you on my channel, Bradley. I hope to see you next time, and I wish you good luck, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.